Okay, so we start from the same place where we left. We were talking about measurement of precision error, and last time what we were talking about is sample and population. So I'll start from there. Sample which is drawn from the population. Okay, now there are two terms which we need to understand. So the thing is, if I'm talking about mean for a population, I say I represent it by x bar for a sample. And if I'm representing sigma as a standard deviation, I say mean and standard deviation. And I represent standard deviation by Sx. So these are the two different notations which we have. I'll explain it again. So this is a complete population, and if I'm these are the parameters of the population, mean and the standard deviation. So if I'm finding out mean and the standard deviation of the whole population, then I'm using these two notations. While if I'm extracting a sample from the population and then I'm finding out mean and the standard deviation, I call that as a x. I represent it by x bar, and I represent standard deviation by Sx. Okay. Any doubts in this? Now, there's another thing. This is called statistic. And this is called parameter. So this is a sample statistic is x bar and Sx, and the population parameters are mean and standard deviation, mu and sigma, you can say. So terminologically speaking, when I'm saying x bar and Sx, I'm referring to statistic population. So samples, you can always remember it like this. When I'm talking about sample, I'm talking about statistic, sample statistic. And when I'm talking about population, P is for population, P is for parameter. Okay, now what do I want to do with this measurement and all? Anyone? What is my intention over here? My intention is that I'm doing experimentation, or I'm doing measurement, and this measurement is representative of the complete set of measurements which will be done by this particular instrument, which even I have not considered it yet. So let's say one instrument is there, and I'm in its lifetime it is going to take 1 lakh measurements. Okay, or you can consider till now it has taken 1 lakh measurements, and further it's going to take more. But then I don't have the data for all the 1 lakh measurements. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take a sample of, let's say, 100 units. I take a sample of 100 measurements, and then I find out mean and standard deviation from these 100 measurements. The next thing is how much error, precision error. So, sorry that I think some button got pressed. So it's gone in standby. I'm just retrieving it. The screen has gone. Yeah, so I'll continue. So my idea is after finding out mean and standard deviation of the measurements, I'm getting some values. Now the thing is, if I have to comment on the error which is there in these
Excuse
values,
me, sir.
या
It is
The
not
screen
visible.
is still not visible.
हाँ मैं बोल रहा हूँ अभी आएगी स्क्रीन. आई हैव टू रीड, वो रीस्टार्ट हो गया था. Yeah. So you see that how much is the error in measurement? And can you tell me what type of error are we talking about? Are we talking about random error or systematic error?
So systematic error.
We are talking about random error. In this chapter, we are only talking about random error and not this. So we say this error, when we are saying error, we say that the systematic error has been segregated and we are only talking about random error now.
So this error is measured in terms of mu and sigma, right?
Yeah. And we are trying to estimate this random error, which is an indicator of precision. Okay. So the thing is, I want to find out that if this is the mean, how much is plus minus this question mark. I want to answer this question over here, that how much is the variation around mean? Getting it? This question mark is the whole idea behind this chapter. I want to answer this question. And once I answer this question, I will have enough confidence about my instrument, whether I can trust my instrument or not, or to what degree can I trust the measurements which I'm taking. So there's a term called confidence interval. There's a term called confidence interval, which turns out. Now, this confidence interval, let's try to understand what is this thing. So let's say this is a normal distribution which we get after getting the several values of measurement. I am able to have this kind of a curve. Okay, and this is the mean which is being represented over here. Now there's a variation around the mean. So the thing is, with how much confidence can I say that the variation which I'm proposing will vary? I mean, let's say the confidence interval, I'll define it. Confidence interval defines the precision uncertainty. In the value of x bar. Let's try to understand this term. Confidence interval. So these lines which I have drawn over here, you can say this limit and this limit. This is a confidence interval which is going to define the precision uncertainty in the value of x. So precision uncertainty in the value of x, let's try to understand with the numerical. confidence interval defines the precision uncertainty in the value of x. Precision uncertainty means if, let's say, so my values are here, okay? So what will be the spread of these values? Getting it? If I want to say that whatever mean value is coming, how spread are these uh, values around the mean? Okay, we are not concerned about accuracy at all over here. We are saying that an instrument is doing measurement, and how spread are these values around the mean of those measurements. Okay, if the spread is too much, the uncertainty in the measurement will be high, and the higher uncertainty in the precision will be there. If the spread is less, that means higher precision is achieved and less uncertainty. Okay, and uncertainty is there because of the randomness which we observe. Okay, now let's do a small numerical which will help us in understanding what we are trying to say. So 12 values in a sample, you can say 12 12 values. 12 values are there, so we can say n equal to 12 in a sample have an average of x bar and standard deviation sx. What is the 95% confidence interval for the true mean value? So 95% confidence interval we need to find. Okay, so let's say x bar and these values we can take any. So we will consider that later. Now, before we go ahead, if n is lesser than 30, if n is lesser than 30, we consider student t distribution. Student t distribution. In the last class, we had discussed normal distribution, right? Now, this is a new type of distribution which is coming in, that is students t distribution. Don't get confused. It's just kind of a frequency distribution converted into a normal probability distribution. So how is it different from a normal distribution? So you can see that a normal distribution is symmetrical and is asymptotic to x-axis. Similarly, student t distribution is also symmetric and asymptotic to x-axis. And student t distribution itself gets converted into a normal distribution when n is greater than equal to 30. Okay, so right now you can just consider it is just like a normal distribution. Okay, now one table which I have sent you on WhatsApp, all of you can see that table. Let me also open it. So let's say I open this table. So this PDF opening. Now let me explain you this table which we have. See, it depends on the value of t depends on number of observations. Unlike z, unlike the normal distribution, t distribution depends on the number of values which we have. That we then using this we find the degrees of freedom. So you see here we have 12 observations. So that means n minus 1 degrees of freedom. So we have 11 over here. Getting it? So we are most interested in this particular line. This 11 over here. So you can see that. See, it might be a little bit difficult for you to digest initially, but you'll get used to it soon. So you can always question, please. The more you ask right now, it will be easier for you to understand for the whole class as well. So as you can see that we were considering n equal to 12 over here, right? So now let's go back. So the n equal to 12 means 12 observations have been taken, and I have to get this t value. Why I need to get t value? Because I need to know the confidence interval limits. Okay, I'll tell you how do we find out. So let me write the formula first so that you can understand it, why we are doing what we are doing. So you want to estimate mu. That means using your 12 values which you have found out, which you have measured, you want to estimate for the whole population. That means your mean would lie between two limits. So these are the two limits in which your mean would vary mostly. 95. So we want to say that if I take 100 observations, out of the 100 observations, 95 observations would lie between these two limits. So that's what we say is a confidence interval. Okay, I'll repeat it again. If I take 100 observations and we are saying for 95% confidence interval, that means what is the meaning of 95 is that if I take 100 observations, 95 observations among those, at least 95 would be lying in this range, which we want to find out. Okay, so that gives us an estimation of the precision uncertainty. So what are these limits? This will be x bar, here also x bar minus plus t, value of t. So how do we write it as 0.025 comma number of degrees of freedom are 11. So that is the representation, bracket sx root n. I'll make it bigger. Mean would lie between the limits. These are this is the confidence interval minus t, value of t, like z, we have t over here, 0.025 comma 11 sx root n. Similarly, x bar plus t 0.975, you can say, comma 11 sx by root n. So what is this thing 0.0725 and 0.975? See, 95% confidence interval. 95% confidence interval means this area is 95% of the total area. This area, the shaded area, is 95% of the total area under the t distribution curve. Okay. So what is the remaining area? Now we say it is symmetrical. That means जो remaining area है वो 5% है. That is this area and this area. The red one is 5%. So we can say this one is the remaining 5% area. Okay. So half of this and half of this, because they both are equal. So half of this would be again 0.025, 0.025. Now it is, the area is measured from left to right. So this area would be how much? 0.025. And this area again would be 0.975. I mean, looking at, we are going from left to right. So till this point, it will be, till this point, the area would be 0.975. Okay, so the remaining which will be left is 0.025 here. That's why we have 0.975 over here and 0.025 over here. Is it clear? Any doubts? So if you don't raise doubts, we have to go ahead.
Can you explain this again?
Okay, I'll explain it again. So this is your t distribution curve. Okay, and why t distribution? Because the number of observations are lesser than yes, anyone? Lesser than what value? 30. Yeah.
30.
So why 30? There is a, I mean, there's a whole reason behind that. So we are not going to go into why 30. The central limit theorem in statistics, because of the virtue of central limit theorem, you can say that. So this is the mean value x bar, which we have found out, and it is supposed to be representing mu, the population mean. Okay, so the question says that you have to find out 95% confidence interval. That means the area under the curve in these two limits is, this area is 95%. Okay, so what is this area? What is the remaining area? This remaining area is 5%. Okay, so I have to find out these values such that x bar minus t student t value. So at the left arm, it will be 0.025. So the representation of t value is always with respect to the area under the curve till that point. So till this point, the area under the curve will be represented by 0.025, comma 11. 11 is the degrees of freedom, which is one less than the number of observations. And this is your Sx by root n. Sx is your sample standard deviation. Okay, so this limit will be calculated this way, and the upper limit will be calculated in the similar way, x bar plus t value. Now till this point it was 0.025 area under the curve, and this is 95%. So 95 and what the area will be there till this point is 0.975. Okay, 97.5. So 2.5% area, or you can say 2.5% here. So 95 plus 2.5 will be 97.5%. And if we convert it into fractions, 0.975, comma 11, Sx by root n.
What is 11 here?
11 is the degrees of freedom, which is n minus 1. That is, n is given as 12 over here in the question. So it is n minus 1. Okay, so now what do we need is we need to find out the value of 0.975 and value of t 0.025. So we go back in the table, and here it is given as you can see one tail and two tail. So similarly, the photograph which I have sent you, in that I think it will be easier if I share the same. So just a second, I'll share the same photograph which I have sent. So if you look at that table, there's new is given as 1 to infinity. So it indicates the degrees of freedom. I'm opening that. So you can see so here you can see is alpha. If you see over here, it's given from right to left, unlike the earlier one. I'll stick to what I have. See, this table will again confuse you because at times I tell you what, statistical tables are one-sided and two-sided. So sometimes they give a value of only one side because it's a symmetrical distribution, and sometimes it gives value of both the sides. So to make it easier for you, I'll just share another table. Otherwise, you will say it will be difficult for you to read it for now, since this is not the core statistical course. So I'll not share this one. I'm sending you another table. I'm sharing a link in the WhatsApp. So you can open that link and it will be easier for you to understand.
So should we mark our attendance as well?
Yeah. Open this link which I have sent you. It will be easier for you to understand. So you can see this one now. It clearly indicates that capital A is indicating the area. So here the confidence interval is indicated as 0.95. Okay. And the value corresponding to 0.95, I'll just highlight that. This one. And 11 across 11, if you see, for 11 degrees of freedom and the area 0.95, it is the degrees of freedom is 2.201. This one, 2.201. Is it clear? Say yes if it is if it is clear that how we are finding out this value 2.201. Say yes in the chat box if you are following what I'm saying. All of you.
Sir, can you explain once again?
Okay. So as you can see that what we intend to find out is these two limits. Now, in order to find out these two limits, I need to get this value. ये वैल्यू चाहिए ना हमको ये लिमिट निकालने के लिए. ये वैल्यू निकालने के लिए what do we have to do is we have to find out ये located कहाँ पे है. And we know one thing that ये 95% area है. Okay, that area is indicated as A over here. A. Okay, this area A. Now this area is 0.95 given over here. You see this 0.95 which I have just highlighted, and 11 is the degrees of freedom given here. So I move across the row and down the column to get this 2.201 value. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
See, अगर आप ये देखेंगे वेबसाइट है medcalc.org. सो इसका मतलब क्या है, ये मेडिसिन में बहुत यूज होता है. जो आप वैक्सीन ले रहे हैं वो जो भी मेडिकल प्रोसेस होने के बाद वो स्टैटिस्टिकली वैलिडेट होती है कि एक सैंपल लेके आप सैम्पलिंग भी देखते हैं ना कि इतने 40,000 50,000 लोगों पे ट्राई किया है उन्होंने वैक्सीन को, एंड व्हाट आर द रिजल्ट्स, एंड WHO गिव अप्रूवल डिपेंडिंग ऑन द रिजल्ट्स, एंड जर्नल में जो पब्लिश होता है वो बोलते हैं. वो सब यही करते हैं. दिस इज वेयर दे स्टार्ट, एंड व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू लर्न इन दिस चैप्टर इज व्हाट is the core of the experimentation. Okay, it's not only applicable in measurement but in medicine, in engineering, हर जगह ये applicable है. So it's like if you want to generalize anything based on a sample, आपको ये सब करना ही पड़ेगा. चाहे आप measurement कर रहे हैं, चाहे आप medicine बना रहे हैं, या आप कोई नई मशीनरी बना रहे हैं, या फिर आप कोई experimentation से ये establish कर रहे हैं कि रॉकेट में कितना फ्यूल प्रोपेलेंट जाना चाहिए, उसकी बर्निंग रेट सही है कि नहीं है. हर चीज के लिए आपको ये करना जरूरी है जो हम कर रहे हैं अभी. सो इट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू इन लॉन्ग वे, एंड योर डेटा एनालिटिक्स टू अ लार्जर एक्सटेंट इज बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट वी आर डूइंग राइट नाउ. ओके, सो ये 2.201 आ गया है. ओके, नाउ and unfortunately you do not have any course in your curriculum which is going to cater to this thing, except that we are doing it in this course because it is relevant and it is there in all the books of measurement. Okay, so the value is 2.201. 2.201. Here also it is 2.201. Now let's assume the mean and the standard deviation कुछ हम assume कर लेते हैं. So let's say sample mean जो था that was 20 centimeters you can say, and standard deviation of the sample is take anything, I mean let's say 5 is very high, so take it 1.5. okay, so I can find out the values, upper and the lower value limits now. Can you quickly find out the upper and the lower limits? Can you guys quickly find out the upper and the lower limit of the confidence interval? All of you? I want answers from all of you.
$1.047.
1.047. What? Lower limit?
Yeah.
How will that come? 20 minus t value is 2.201 multiplied by s is 1.5 divided by root n is 11 mu. 20 plus 2.201 multiplied with 1.5 divided by root 11. Root 12, not 11, root 12.
So it's 19.04, the left limit, lower limit.
19.04. And the upper one?
20.954.
20.95. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that for this particular instrument, if I take observations of, let's say mean kitna tha? 20. The observations might vary between 19.04 and 20.95. 95% of the time, at least 95% of the time, the values of my measurements are going to lie between 19.04 and 20.95. So are you okay with this? Okay, the thing is, are you okay with this? And so what is the implication of this? How is it useful for me when I'm doing measurement? Who's going to answer this? Yes?
So we are much more closer to disregard the random error in the instrument.
Yeah, so the instrument exhibits this amount of random error. So am I okay with this or not? And here we have assumed that the systematic error has been already been segregated or taken care of. Okay. Now I'll send you another question, and which we'll do now. I'm sending another question. I'll make a PDF of this book also later on, but not right now till I'm doing this. This chapter, I'll make a PDF of it and send it to you. So I'm just sending you another. All of you read this question, which I've just sent. So the question is somewhat like this. A simple postal scale of the equal arm balance type is supplied with uh, 1 half, 1, 2, and 4 ounce machine brass weights. So 4 types of weights are there. For a quality check, the manufacturer randomly selects a sample of 14 of the 1 ounce weights or 1 ounce weights and weighs them on a precision scale. The results of the measurement are given. Okay, so 14 measurements have been taken and the measurements are given. The question is, based on this sample of 14, and we assume that the parent population is normally distributed. So here, whenever we are going to use t distribution, we have to do one assumption that the parent population or the sample, the population from which the sample has been derived is normally distributed. So what is the confidence interval for the population mean we have to find out. So I'll give you some time to do this problem. All of you start working on this problem, and you have to send a picture of your doing. You do it on a piece of paper and send it in the WhatsApp group, all of you. If you have any doubts, you ask back. First, you have to calculate sample mean, all of you. What is the sample mean?
One 1.009.
So sample mean is coming out as 1.009. X bar we can say is 1.009. Okay. What is Sx? So the formula for calculating Sx is summation xi minus x bar whole square divided by n minus 1. So this is the formula for calculating Sx. Quickly calculate the value of Sx. How do I expand it? I'll just give you some example of that. So 1.08 minus 1.009, right? 1.009 whole square plus another value 1.03 minus 1.009 whole square. Divided by how many observations? 14 observations. 14 minus 1. So these are the observations which we have. Now quickly calculate the value or let me know what is the value of Sx. Mind you, all of you have to do it in a piece of paper and send me the whole set of calculations which we are doing. Yes, anyone? Value of Sx. Okay, what we'll do is I'll leave it to you. You have to do the calculation and send me by another 15 minutes is there. So you have to find out the value of Sx. Then after that you have to calculate the two-sided confidence limits of this. and then you have to send me. Okay. So I will not take anything coming after 11 o'clock. So take your time and do that. If you have any doubts, ask me. I'm here for another 5-7 minutes.